Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating snapshot of vibrant community life right here in Hastings. What makes this week's update so compelling is the backdrop. We're witnessing some incredible community resilience as folks navigate busy weekend events, urgent fundraising appeals, and civic duties, and they're doing the whole shebang under the heavy blanket of an intense heat wave. So let's explore how locals are staying cool, staying engaged, and really stepping up for one another. Because, well, this is exactly what we're dealing with today. 94 degrees. That is the sweltering high forecast for this Sunday in Hastings, which has prompted an official extreme heat warning in effect all the way through 9 p.m. tonight. The stakes for anyone heading outside are incredibly high, and honestly, it changes the entire dynamic of how the town is operating today. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our agenda for today. First, beating the Hastings heat wave. Then, rallying for the Spiral Co-op. Third, the Antique Power Show finale. After that, civic updates and arts. And finally, the Blue Raspberry return. All right, starting with Section 1, beating the Hastings heat wave. As we go through these local events, keep in mind that this weather is the undeniable setting for literally everything happening in town this week. Here's exactly what you need to know before making any outdoor plans today. We're looking at dangerously hot conditions. A small chance of morning rain is going to give way to mostly sunny skies, which, you guessed it, will really crank up that 94-degree high. But you've also got to keep an eye on the evening sky because showers and thunderstorms become much more likely Sunday night. Please make sure you review the full weather reports and prep accordingly before you step out the door. Moving on to Section 2, rallying for Spiral Co-op. Now, despite the physical exhaustion of this heat wave, Hastings is stepping up to face a massive local challenge, and it's to the tune of $80,000. That's the significant cash gap the Spiral Food Co-op is facing over the next several months. They're urgently asking members and supporters for help to close this deficit, just so they can pay vendors and rebuild the operating cash they need to survive. And this brilliantly illustrates just how quickly things can compound. So, how did they get here? Well, according to a letter from the co-op's general manager, it's a multi-layered issue. We're talking an accounting error-related cash crisis, a multi-day power loss, and prolonged access disruptions. Just a quick tip for you, for the most current information, rely directly on the general manager's official letter rather than older, unverified given men pages you might stumble across online. Okay, Section 3, Antique Power Show finale. Pivoting over to some community celebrations, if you're braving the heat for the Little Log House Antique Power Show's final day on Michael Avenue, daily admission is $12 cash for ages 13 and up. Kids 12 and under get in free, but please listen closely here. Because of today's extreme weather, you absolutely need to verify any late schedule changes directly with the organizers before you travel. If you do decide to head out, here's what your day looks like. The gates open at 8 a.m. A major highlight, the tractor parade rolls out at 11 a.m. Starting at noon, you can catch live music along with both military and Western reenactments, which are always huge draws. The music wraps up around 4 p.m., and the show officially closes its doors at 5 p.m. Just a quick aside, official materials actually disagree on the show's numbered anniversary, so we're just celebrating the event itself today. Which brings us to Section 4, civic updates and arts. Let's look at what's happening around town. The City of Hastings has officially published a recap of their July 16th public meeting regarding the proposed well house number 9 at Wallen Park. This is a developing public infrastructure proposal that's especially relevant to Wallen Park neighbors and municipal water customers. Over the next 1 to 2 months, city staff are going to execute 3 steps. They'll examine possible design changes, evaluate site adjustments, including looking at an alternative location, and only after that work is complete will they schedule the next public meeting. No final site or design decisions have been made just yet. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is just how much is happening across the local business and art scene this week. Black Dirt Theater has 3 remaining performances of Matilda the Musical. Just check their official ticketing page as door sales can really fluctuate. Over at Impressive Windows and Interiors, summer hours shift on July 30th to Thursday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And hey, if you're house hunting, there's a condo open house Monday evening from 5:45 to 7 p.m. at 570 Whispering Lane, Unit 305. Just confirm the active listing before you drive over. Continuing with our community updates, Pure Serenity Wellness Center has Cali available for in-person readings on Mondays and Thursdays from 5:30 to 7 p.m. It's $25, but keep in mind it operates on a first-come, first-served basis, so availability isn't guaranteed. Rise Up Recovery MN is hosting a men's sexual addiction peer support group on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. To be absolutely clear, this is described as peer support, not medical treatment.
Finally, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic Parish is looking for adult volunteers to help sweep, mop, and detail the sanctuary pews, whether you can help weekly, monthly, or just when your schedule allows.
And finally, Section 5, the Blue Raspberry Return.
I want you to think back to that 94-degree framing we started with today. With an extreme heat warning bearing down on us, how exactly is Hastings cooling off? Well, by celebrating the return of Hometown Dairy's blue raspberry flavor, of course. It is officially back, and let me tell you, it's the absolute perfect heat wave remedy. You can grab it in a cup, a cone, a shake, or a malt. The dairy hasn't specified exactly how long this flavor will remain in stock, so if you want to beat the heat, you probably shouldn't wait around. Just make sure you eat it fast before that 94-degree sun melts the whole thing. As we wrap up today's explainer, here are your top action items for the week. On the civic side, if you only click one thing, make sure you read the city's official Well House number 9 meeting recap so you can really understand that developing public infrastructure. On the community side, use Local Pigeon. Hastings area businesses, organizations, and residents can submit their own useful updates and clarifications right there. Keep in mind that Local 10 features are selected based on usefulness, timing, and local relevance. Inclusion is absolutely not paid placement, and it for sure isn't guaranteed. Which leads us perfectly to this final thought. As the source material reminds us, Hastings now remains the editor and publisher responsible for deciding what has the most public value for Local 10. The news, the support networks, the infrastructure debates, even the local ice cream flavors, they're all driven by people getting involved. So after seeing how this community rallies during an extreme heat wave, I have to ask you, are you ready to shape the future of Hastings? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay cool out there, and I'll catch you next time.